Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Bossing DIY series, where we take normally unconventional builds or sometimes conventional builds into bossing to demonstrate, to walk through the process and to show people that you can do bossing with quite the budgety gear and also with lack of experience, which is exactly the point where I'm at with most of these builds. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. We're gonna take a Golem Necro into both Declone and Rathma, and initially Golem Necro is actually a very comfortable budget build to kill Declone. That's definitely what I came into, and since Fire Golem was so popular in season 10, I felt kind of kind of a duty to show Golem Necro doing it. I figured it would be the go-to build for most Necros, so might as well cover it in this video. Who knows if it will stay this way for season 11, but it's always nice to see. And you can see us just hopping in, and over here in the kill, we actually had a little bit of a bug where we couldn't summon more than two. I'm sure this is just like a pluggy bug or something like that. But yeah, generally, you wouldn't be using these clay golems for the first phase. They do a little bit more damage to Declone himself, and I use the fire golems for the skeleton phases because they have low fire resistances. So I was just trying to summon different things to see if they like make the bug, like, I don't know, stop. But you can see that once we get into the skeleton phase, the bugs suddenly like stopped like happening for some reason. So I don't know what fixed it, but it stopped, and that's all that matters. You can see the fire golems clear very fast. We don't use a lot of potions to clear, and then during the declone phase I try to focus on the clay golems, which bring it down relatively fast. Now if you already have a dominion, or if you have like other plus skill gear, that's awesome. It will make this fight even easier. I just didn't have it. And we just had like a full trangs and plain skillers. I think for rings I used what did we use? I think we used the dwarf star and some other res ring, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, that's kind of what we used. We used water walks for boots, for the max fire resistances, and for the amulet I think I just used +3 to summoning. So again, nothing too fancy. No good slams on the gear or anything like that. Just normal gear. You can see our health is pretty low. At 1480. So again, and the one that I'm using is just +2 to summoning, or +2 to necro, and +2 to fire golem. So super cheap, like one that we just bought on day one, and just kind of went along with it. You can buy way better ones. If you spend like 5 to 10 minutes, you'll find a better one. That's just like, I was just fine with it because I felt like that would be enough to clear this. We do not have a CTA as well for this fight, so again, super budget approach to the entire process. Yeah, you can see we like mostly rely on the fire golems during the skelly phases. If he's killing, he being Declone, if he's killing all of your golems very fast, you can summon both fire golems and the clay golems kind of like at the same time. If you just summon one type of golem, there's like a cooldown till you can summon the next one. But if you summon both, you can kind of summon them in sequence just based on your FCR. So it's just like something that is like nice when he's like full clearing all your golems. If you want to do that, that's not bad at all. You can see I try to attempt using the fire golems for the other phases as well, kind of like the declone phases as well. I think they did less damage. You can see that we had like a belt left of juves. Belt and like the cube, I believe, or maybe I used the cube already, but it was a very budgety type of kill, so we were like juving a lot for safety. That's just like for the record, as they say. And here I'm showing that's the 1, the 2 to necro, to the fire golem FCR slam, one that we got like on day one. Really unimpressive, not anything big. We used it on Dariel's with a Ral rune inside. We used the Guardian Angel, 3 sockets. They could be rubies, they could have been rubies, but we took it to tier 2 for the druid, so we put jaw runes in it. And we have our trangs gloves. We're using only 2 pieces of trangs. That's what I ended up using. We're not using them for anything other than their like resistances and cannot be frozen. So you have cold and fire res on the trangs gloves. You have some FCR, PLR, ring. You don't really care about the FCR here, just the high PLR. And you got this like Trang's belt, mostly for the CBF. The flat life is nice to have too. The bonus from the set is really not important. This is 75 PLR Necro, brilliant amulet that we made. It's only 1 to Necro skills, so again, not super impressive. Something that you can craft pretty easily with like a couple of crafts on day 1 or 2. We have this corpse wand, +1 to skills, some resistances, some PLR. Just a rare shield you can pick up on the way. Has just a flawless gem, not even a perfect gem. Definitely not an rune. So super budget stuff. Nature's Peace, I do recommend having one of those to get your maximum resistances up. And we got this PLR boots. I also use the same boots on episode 6 for the Desecrate, just to get cold and fire res and some PLR and FHR. So that was the gear that we went with. CTA on the Switch. For this one, we will have a CTA and some skillers. Some all res and some specific res with FHR. You can see our health with the Oak Sage went up to 2k with the bow, with everything, which is not bad at all. It's not very high, but it's like, I felt like it would be good enough. And yeah, we walk in with the Fire Golems summoned. I wanted to start with the Fire Golems and see how they do. And I'll be honest, they weren't doing super hot, so I changed to the Clay Golems. They were doing a lot more damage. You can kind of see the difference. And here's where I like found out my first problem. The glacial spikes were a huge issue. Now you have to stay kind of close to the golems for them to actually die. Then I tried like summoning like the other golems, but what happens is that the glacial spikes just kind of like AoE destroy your golems super fast. Now again, my golems are relatively low level, but that was like a huge issue because they just cleared all of them and I had to resummon everything, which was all a bit of a problem. You saw that I couldn't manage to kill more than 1 golem. And that's where I thought I'm kind of running into trouble. Maybe I'm not making it out of this fight. So what do? We go again, but this time we're a little bit more focused and we blood warp our golems to kind of avoid some of the glacial spikes. We managed to kill 3 of them, which is pretty nice. One of them kind of reached, but that's okay. And we also summoned like both types of golems just to make sure we summon faster. So just to make sure we're keeping up like the 5 golems and not like missing out on damage. Yeah, there were definitely some growing pains here, but you can see I am making some kind of progress on the HP of Mendon. He is spamming me with cold waves to clear even more of my golems. And I was getting a little worried that I didn't even take enough juves for this. But yeah, you can see that we're like getting rid of 1, getting rid of 2. You want to focus on the ones that are summoned first. I left one of them with a little bit of low HP, hoping the fire aura will kill them. That actually did work, which was nice. Yeah, this fight was really slow. You can tell that I've been here for a long time. This is double time speed. But we are making progress. We are bringing them down. I'm left to my last belt of juves over here. So we gotta start playing smart. We bring our golems over here, teleport them, and we try to like stomp as much as we can as we go. And I make sure to summon the fire golems on the next target, so their aura still kind of affects the other golem, but they already start working on the last one. You can see that at the end, like even though we were like kind of stumbling through the first like part of this fight, we kind of understood how to play this correctly after a couple of attempts, and it actually ended up being okay. I thought this will be the hardest part of this Rathma adventure with the golems. I thought it would be the hardest one, and let's see if I was right about that. So we walk into the Rathma phase, the second boss phase. We summon some clay golems. They definitely do a lot better during this phase. They clear pretty fast, and I try to get rid of the skeleton. For the skeletons, again, fire golems are pretty effective. And we're not using a lot of juves, so I feel pretty confident about this. But then I notice kind of like something strange. Whenever I teleport into a Void Knight, they just walk away from me. So as you can see, like I teleport on this fire one and he just walks away. And the only time that does not happen is when I put them in the corner. But what happens is if I put all my golems in the corner, they all get killed pretty fast. So I wasn't sure what I'm supposed to do. You can see that killing even one Void Knight takes a lot of time if you're not focusing them. You can see I'm hopping from one to the other but they regen fast enough that like if I don't focus them and kill them, I'm kind of like wasting my time, wasting my juice. So I took this first phase to kind of like learn how I'm supposed to do this. Having the fire golems up next to you when you're getting caged is actually very useful, because they will break the cage for you. So that's kind of like a small tip if you are trying to boss with this, which we'll see. Clay golems again for the in-between phase, super useful. They clear very fast. And over here we're trying to kind of do what we figured out in the first phase. Like I'm just focusing in a corner there. I don't care that I'm getting shot at. I just keep going till the Void Knight dies, and we just go like one by one there. We don't care. Like if we get like a little bit of damage, that's fine, because we barely get targeted by anything. So overall, this feels fine. So I'm clearing one after one. This method is pretty dangerous because you are gonna get hit by a ton of stuff. So you want to make sure you're paying attention to your health. You can also see that I'm already here 4 minutes in this fight. 4 minutes is only the second Void Knight phase. So incredibly slow compared to what we're used to. I'll actually have to rebow, I think, for the first time in my life during this fight. And yeah, you can see we're not using a lot of juice necessarily. It's just very, very slow. So we go ahead, and you can see the golems take care of the skeletons very fast. They take care of Rathma very fast, as long as it's the clay golems. Yeah, now the final phase. And at that point, I've already kind of learned how to do this fight. I make sure to rebow myself surely in a moment. Surely I do it in a moment. Like I rebow myself, surely. Oh, please tell me. Tell me I notice. Tell me I pay attention. And I rebow myself. Okay. Apparently I'm too focused on killing the Void Knights to actually pay attention to what's going on in the fight. And I guess that just happens sometimes. You overfocus. But again, compared to the other like Void Knight phases, we actually did this one way faster. It was a lot better than the first two. So again, some kind of growing pains till we figure out how we're supposed to play this. Kind of like teleporting on one Void Knight till we finish him off with the Fire Aura during the Skeleton phase, the Void phases. So overall, it was a little bit rough, but we managed to get out of there. And by the time I made it to the third phase, I kind of told myself, listen, there's no way you're quitting now. We are making it through this fight, and let's see if we could actually do it. The second phase was the longest and most difficult one that I've had so far on any build that I've tried ever in Rathma. So hopefully the third phase goes a little bit better. Yeah, you can see me kind of like wandering around like on how difficult this is going to be. Yeah, let's check it out. So this is a sped up version of the fight, of course. I'm summoning some clay golems to try and get rid of the boss part of the fight a little bit faster. Some fire golems for the skeleton. We do not more extra damage going around during this fight. We do get rid of the first Nova phase pretty easily. And we're taking what we learned from the second phase. We're just focusing on one Void Knight at a time, making sure we stomp them as much as we can. They do end up running away from us quite a bit, which makes it a little bit hard, but with like the double summoning trick that we learned in the first phase, where we summon like 2 types of golems very fast, it's actually not too bad, and we managed to get them down relatively low. One more Void Knight over here. You can see that I used like my Blood Warp to kind of teleport over stuff and keep my golems alive. We fill up our juice, something which wasn't even necessary in a few other builds that we tried. And we drop our cube. Yeah, we managed to summon the second Void Knight phase, and you can kind of see that the in-between phases where it's just Rathma and Mendon are super easy. We don't use any juice. They're super easy to handle. And again, I know that if I had the minion here and I had one more golem, or if I had like +3 or +4 more skill points, which are easily achievable with like just shopping for better ones, better amulets, or whatever. I know we could have gotten a lot of more mileage out of this and maybe done it a lot easier, but that is the budget way of life. You just kind of demonstrate with the low gear option. And if you can do it with this, surely you guys, when you're fully geared with your fire golem setups, you'll be fine. It is important to say that I'm kind of like skilled, like the way that my skills are allocated right now is basically how a fire golem would be allocated, which is like a bunch of synergies on the golems, and pretty much nothing else, just like a point in bone armor. So yeah, this is pretty much like the same skill points that you'd have. You can see us struggling through the last phase of the Void Knights. They were so cruel to me with how much they were running away. And we're starting to get a little bit low on Jews. I'm trying to focus like a few more Void Knights to get rid of them. But they keep spreading around. They keep standing like near Rathma and Deln, which make it a little bit harder to even target them. But we finally managed to corner another Void Knight. And whenever you can get them into a corner, that's really, really good for you. You want to make sure that you take them down when they can't run away. Yeah, final belt of Jews. We have 2 more Void Knights. Yeah, this poison one right here. Look at him running all across the place. We finally take him down, and it's time to kill Mendeln and Rathma. We get the last Poison Nova, I believe, over here. Oh, I don't know if it's even the last one, but maybe it's the third one. Yeah, we managed to kind of isolate them, and you see at that point of the fight, like nothing's like too hard. This is the final Poison Nova, and we only have Mendeln left to kill. And it's pretty slow, but you can't really do anything to. I'm just like running around with like a silly smile on my face. And you can see we ended up having a few more Jews left, only 7. This is by far the clutchiest kill that we've done on the DIY bossing. Of course, we did not know how hard it's going to be, but we ended up killing Mendeln at the end. It was, the final part was not hard at all. I will say that this fight, despite being very long and grindy, didn't feel very dangerous in any way. Like, I didn't feel like I'm about to die at any point. And I'm sure that with better gear that you guys are going to have during your seasonal event, hopefully, you'll be way more fine than this. So if you do want to farm your own Rathma and Declone with your Fire Golem, with your Clay Golem, whatever Golem build that you're running, this is like a certified you can do it moment. I believe in you, and this will be probably the final DIY episode for the Necro. The next character we'll be doing is the Barbarian. First with the Rags to Riches, and then with that. If you enjoy the content and you want to keep supporting it, do it in all the free ways that you can, like drop the like, subscribe, whatever the YouTube stuff to help the algorithm go boom. And yeah, I'll see you in the comments. I'll see you in the next stream. I'll see you in the next video. And bye till then.